Hey everyone, welcome back to RJK English. Today is another rant and rave, which is where I talk about something that is interesting to me or something that I'm thinking about. I may have some opinions here, maybe that you don't agree with. So the key is we're thinking and we're having a conversation. So today is going to be about the 4-day work week. So I had a Japanese student who is the head of finance in his company bring up the issue of the 4-day work week. So this is a new issue that's coming up. I think the reason it is coming up is because of COVID. So before COVID in the US, there were some people that could work remotely, especially if you were in the tech industry. But most people, companies would not allow them to work remotely. Well, with COVID, we learned that we can work remotely and that we can get the work we need done. So where workers' rights are considered very highly. So I think it's the Mas País party or movement is thinking about this. But let's talk about why companies would have a 4-day work week. One, this is the argument that I think we will hear a lot of because most of our media and most of our arguments these days are from the company perspective. People will say that workers actually produce more if you have a 4-day work week versus a 5-day work week. And I know that this is definitely an argument for workers that are over 40. When you get to my age, you start to slow down a little bit and you get a little bit tired. It's good to have some time off. But maybe they will look at and see that, oh, well, when people work 5 days, they're filling their time with things that they don't need to. 4 days would actually take care of it. So this could be an argument for a 4-day work week. But let's think about why the other reason why a company would do a 4-day work week. One is so that they could pay people less. Maybe they feel they can get just as much done without people, and so they'll actually cut pay and do a 4-day work week with the same staff. That would be harmful to workers, but they could do that. The other reason is because the government tells them to. And in socialist countries, workers have a lot more of a voice. Like Spain isn't straight up socialist, but they do have that. Even the Podemos party, I think it's Podemos party, was about people have their individual rights. So countries, do they have the power to make companies do this? And the answer is yes. So American companies are very powerful, Apple, Amazon, but the U.S. government is far more powerful than them. The U.S. government tries to act like it's not, probably because a lot of people in government benefit from those companies. So they are invested in those companies, or I don't know how it works, but they get money from these companies, so they make decisions that help those companies. But the U.S. government spends 10 times more on the military than the next they spend more on the military than the next 10 countries combined. If you take the next 10 countries, combine their spending on military, the U.S. spends more than all of them together. So the U.S. has an incredibly large amount of money. The U.S. government is very, very powerful. So they could tell companies that they need to have a 4-day work week. Or in another country, they could say this. Their government could say this. We see this right now in the US because the US is thinking about canceling patents for Pfizer. Pfizer's incredibly powerful and they're huge. So if the US had this canceled, other countries could use the Pfizer, what is now a patent, and create their own vaccine, which would help a lot of people around the world, which is why activists in the US and outside are calling for this to happen. People want this. So the country could do it. So what's the argument from a worker perspective of the 4-day work week? Well, let's think about changes in business over the last 70 years. Has tech increased or decreased? It's increased, right? This is not a perfect graph, but I did a thought experiment with one of my really good students. Tech development has probably gone up more like this, like exponential growth. And how has that changed business? Worker productivity has gone up with that technology, right? That means with the same worker, you're getting what? If we put 1, 2, 3, you're getting 5 times as much productivity out of them. That's pretty good for a business, right? So businesses aren't saying that, but they're getting much more productivity. What does that mean? If you have the same workforce and you're getting more productivity, let's get to that. What about wages, salaries for workers? I put it as lower, but let's be nice about this and we'll say that worker salaries have been going up just a little bit over time. If we think about inflation, some people have shown that worker wages are actually going down. So what is the company's profit? It's the difference between these two things is basically company profit. How important is labor expense to a company? It's very, very important. Just to give you an idea, why is Europe and why is America so wealthy? It's because of slave labor. We had slavery, and that was totally detrimental to people's lives. But when you cut out pay, you can make a lot of profit. I'm not saying that all companies are that bad, but they would love to not have to pay labor. So they are making a lot of money on the difference between what they pay people and the output. This is profit. And look at how profit is growing over this time. So workers have been doing more because the workers use the technology. In some ways, and this is a good argument, you should maybe write something about what you think. Maybe you think, well, technology is taking over the need for workers. And that's why. Could be. That definitely has an effect. But workers are using this technology and they're doing a lot more, but their wages aren't going up. So the argument could be, for the last 70 years, you companies have been making a lot of money off of us. We're asking for something back. We need a 4-day work week with the same pay. You may need to hire another person. So that may make wages here move up like this. Maybe all of a sudden they bump up to here. You're still making a lot of profit. So that could be an argument for a 4-day work week. You're making so much money off of this. Now, does this seem crazy to you? It shouldn't, because back when technology started really growing, there was an argument that, technology is able to do all these things. Eventually, people won't need to work, or they'll only need to work 1 day a week. But that's not what happened over time. What happened over time is this difference was pushed up to company profits. And we use it in many different ways, the stock market, all of these things, companies reinvest, all of this, but the profit is pushed to the top instead of workers being able to work less because they're actually producing a lot. And in capitalist societies, we have to create need. We need people to buy more because we need our economy to expand. And this is where we could talk about what capitalism is, but it's basically staying ahead of debt. So we need to keep growing so we outgrow debt so that we stay on top of things. But this could be an argument for a 4-day work week. But the key is individuals have to have enough power within the country to influence the government to do this, to make a 4-day work week. So anyways, this is my argument about it. I'm not exactly sure what I think, but I'm trying to think through it. See you next time. Hi everyone, welcome to RJK English. Make sure to like and subscribe, and that will help me make more of these videos. I'm on YouTube and on Instagram, and see us on Facebook, and we can talk further.